Okay, hello there. Today's video is going to be on reflections. So if you would please gather up graph paper, and I gave you a paper with a whole bunch of coordinate planes on there. You can use that for this activity, or any graph paper you might have, just draw a coordinate plane, and you can use the same coordinate plane multiple times, or multiple coordinate planes, like smaller ones would be fine. I tried to use small numbers here. The only vocabulary we have for this one is reflect means to flip. Reflect, flip. How I remember that? The FL and FL, reflect, flip. You can also think about when you look in a mirror, you see a reflection. And when you look in the mirror, do you notice how everything is flipped to the other side? Your right looks like your left, right? If you hold up your hand in an L shape, it looks backwards in the mirror. So reflect means flip. All right, so on your coordinate plane, go ahead and label this as example 1 and draw this trapezoid. We've got A, B, C, D. And in your spiral notebook, go ahead and start the arrow notation for this. Again, we're going to call this example 1 for reflections. Go ahead and pause the video and get those two pieces done. And then come on back and we'll talk about how we're going to flip this over the x-axis. We're going to reflect it over the x-axis. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to grab your pencil and put it on point A. Point A is going to flip to the other side of your line of reflection. Now I've already labeled here, and if you have a highlighter that would be helpful, but go ahead and label your line of reflection. That's what you're flipping over. Your line of reflection is what you're flipping over. So when you're looking at point A, the tricky part is making sure you count exactly how many boxes your point is from the line. When you have your reflection has to be equally distant from your line of reflection. So here's my point A. It is exactly 2 boxes away from my line of reflection. So my A prime needs to be exactly 2 points away from my line of reflection. And the same thing for B. 2 boxes away, 2 boxes away. That would be my B prime. Now let's look at C and D. They are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes away from my line of reflection. So I'm going to count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm putting my prime symbols. They are important. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect those points. Take a look at your image. This would be the image. Doesn't your image look like it's been flipped over your line of reflection? That's super important. We're going to flip it over the line of reflection. Okay? Let's go ahead and finish your arrow notation and write the ordered pairs for A, B, C, and D. Go ahead and do that, or do that with me. We've got 2, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 6, 2, and 5, 4. Pause the video and see if you can find a pattern going in between D and D prime, B and B prime, A and A prime. Pause the video and see if you can find that pattern. Did you notice that the opposite of Y here, it was -2 and now it's +2? It was -4 but now it's +4. So we're taking the Y value and you're changing it to be the opposite. Okay? But the X number is staying exactly the same. And if you think about how this shape has flipped up, we're on the exact same numbers on the X-axis. The only difference is the Y-axis values. They have changed. Instead of being negative, they're now positive. All right, go ahead and go to the next coordinate plane. And we're going to do another example. We're going to call this example 2. Go ahead and pause the video. Graph the triangle and start your arrow notation in your spiral notebook. All right, so here we're going to reflect over the y-axis. Over the y-axis. Again, mark your line of reflection. It's not always going to be an axis. Sometimes it's going to be an actual grid line, like x is 2. You might reflect over this line. Or we might reflect over this line. Right? In this case, we're going to do the y-axis here. Again, that's called your line of reflection. All right, we're going to do the same thing as before, except we're going left to right. B is 1, 2 spaces away from the line of reflection, so we count 1, 2 on the other side, B prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And connect those points as straight as you can. That's your image. All right. Notice it's been flipped. The B is closest to the line of reflection here. B prime is the closest one here too. Make sure your labels are correct. All right, let's do our arrow notation and finish that up. We've got 6, 5 and 2, 5. And C prime is at 4, 2. All right, see if you can find a pattern. Go ahead and pause the video and look for a pattern going from A to A prime, B to B prime, and C to C prime. Do you notice anything happening consistently there? Great, let's see. The Y values are now exactly the same, but the X values are changing to be opposites. Instead of -6, it's +6. Instead of -4, it's +4. But all the Y coordinates are exactly the same. And think about that. This is being flipped over the Y axis. So you're in the exact same space on the Y axis, but the X values are changing because we're moving side to side. We're moving left to right, and therefore the X value changes. That makes sense, doesn't it? The X-axis goes side to side, and if my shape is flipping over side to side, then the X value should change. All right, let's try another one. Just getting the basics here. All right, choose another coordinate plane if you would. Label this example 3. Pause the video, graph, and start your arrow notation. This time we're going to reflect over the Y-axis. All right, let's see. Now, the Y-axis is on top of the shape. Oh me, oh my. Do not fret. Just do one point at a time, okay? Let's start with A. A is one space on the left side, so I'm going to move it so it's one space on the right side and call it A prime. Okay? B is one space on the left, so I'm going to move it to one space on the right. And C is 1, 2, 3 spaces on the right side, so I'm going to move C to the other side of the line on the left. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When we connect the dots here, look what's happened. They've overlapped. They've overlapped. That's okay. Seem to make sense? All right, let's do our arrow notation. I know it looks a little funny that they're overlapped, but it's okay that they're overlapping. It's because the line is here, so this is the only part that's staying still. All right, so A prime is 1, -2. B prime is 1, -6. And C prime is -3, -6. All right, since we're flipping over the Y-axis, the rule before was, since we're flipping over the Y-axis and we're going side to side, that the X number is going to change. Is that true? Did the X number change? Instead of -1, it's +1, isn't it? Instead of +3, it's -3. Are the Y values the same? Yes, because we're still in the same part on the Y-axis. It's the X values that are differing. We're going to do some more practice problems in class. Reflections. Think about your face in the mirror or seeing an image of something in a puddle or a pond. Reflect is flip. See you soon.